Hey everyone. So today I want to talk about the coronavirus. I have recently come out of China and was very lucky to have a ticket way far in advance, and it allowed me to leave right before this became a problem. And in doing so, it's made me feel like I am outside the situation and there's not much I can do to help. So I decided to do a reading today about the coronavirus and the situation at hand, what we can do to help, and what the outcome may be. So I have my cards here. I have already shuffled them. Just gonna break them real fast and we will get started. So last one. Okay. So let's start with the center of the situation. At the core, we have a Four of Pentacles. Now, if you don't know, Pentacles are the cards that have to do with finances, money, success, and anything of value to you. It does not have to be particularly about money. But in this situation, we can assume that this is probably about finances or about money. And the Four is about stability and strength. Mainly in a way that your finances are stable. You feel confidence in your finances. There's no kind of stress related to that. And we also have a Three of Wands, which is crossing our Four of Pentacles at this moment. So while the Four of Pentacles is about financial stability, the Three of Wands is about aligning our desires and our ambition with what's going on and what's true to our hearts. So I don't know if you can see in the card itself, but there is a sense of alignment here with the Three of Wands. So right now we have a crossing of our stable financial situation crossed with the alignment of our needs. In the past, we had a Two of Swords, or not in the past, I'm sorry, in the underlying, we have a Two of Swords, which is a card of patience. It is a card of waiting to see how things will go. I've laid two extras, and one of the cards is Temperance, which is also about patience and waiting how things will go. It's about mulling through the options to figure out what is correct and what is best for us. So I think that's pretty strong when it comes to the situation with coronavirus. We don't really know what it is that's going to happen with it, and so we're all just kind of waiting and seeing to see what's going to happen with it, just to see what we need to do. We also have this Empress card, which allows us to see that we are still strong. The energy around it is still strong. We still have an idea of what we're doing. We have a grasp of how to take over and take control of the situation to make it good for everyone. So this is the underlying. There's a sense of patience and identifying with our own energy that we already have in the situation. In the past, we have this Tower. The Tower is the card of great change. Everything is changing. And yes, indeed, it is. Everything is changing. In China right now, things have gone from a bad situation to a worse situation, and most foreigners are getting to a point where they might be trapped in China because there's no flights coming in or out. So things are changing dramatically. In the past, we also had the Prince of Wands and the Three of Cups, meaning it used to be a sense of just looking for what's best for us, looking for our drive and our motivation, and going after that and being strong enough to find it. And it also used to be a sense of just looking for our completion emotionally, whether that was in a relationship or also just in the situation. If we're talking coronavirus, it's really saying that life was normal and we were spending our time going after our dreams, going after our wants, and now everything has changed, which is exactly what has happened. In the present, we have a 10 of swords. A 10 of wands, which is the card of basically unbridled motivation and desire. Right now, we have the need to direct our motivation towards something to do with this coronavirus. Presently, the people need to find direction and move with it. It may be a time where your heart is kind of confronted and confused about what is supposed to happen, but ultimately you are going to need to use this motivation and go forward, leap, because the situation is not a waiting situation. Every time we wait, it gets worse and worse and worse. So it's not a time to wait, it's a time to act, make your decisions and move. In the future, I have 3 of Pentacles, which makes sense because it's a building. A lot of us are going to lose a lot of our finances and things that we've built to this point. So it's going to be a start over. And we have to not think so much about what it is that's going to cause this to happen or how things will be. It's just it's necessary to rebuild. There is going to be a new idea, an Ace of Swords, which swords relates to the mind and ideas. So we are going to have a new idea. Things are shaking up and we need to start over and we need to build. And then we have the moon also here in our future. Immediate future, it's not really clear. And this goes into our underlying cards about patience, our Temperance, and our 2 of Swords. We're not really clear on what's going to happen. That's pretty much all I can say, and the cards are saying the exact same thing. There's going to be a time period of starting over with a new idea and having to rebuild, but we don't really know anything else about it except for that. Over on this side, sometimes we do these as individual, but since we're reading about coronavirus, we'll read it in a situational way. Right now, we need to have discernment. We have a King of Swords here, and that is the card of mastering our thoughts, being discerning, looking through what's happening. We also have to align our thoughts and make a decision, figure out which direction we're going because we don't have time. But things are moving the way they need to, so we need to not be so upset about it because we have the Wheel of Fortune, which means everything is moving and everything is related in the way that it needs to move. So don't be afraid. Just make the decisions you need to make now and act on them. I think other people see the situation as people being very strong, people having a good idea, a good grasp of how to do it. This is the Emperor card. And this is how others see us in the situation or the situation in general. We have the Hermit, which makes sense because many people in China at this point are stuck in their houses. They cannot see anybody. They can't really meet up with their friends, families. The internet access there right now is not so great. So it is making it hard for us to communicate and keep tabs with people in China. And it's creating kind of this hermit solitude feeling for these people, which can be a little bit scary, and it can add to the pressure happening from the coronavirus scare. When you're not able to see anybody, any of your friends, and you just have to stay inside because going outside is dangerous, it's going to create fear, it's going to create loneliness. But this is also important because the Hermit is usually a card of learning. So use this time. If you cannot go out and do your normal routine, use this time to build yourself. This is the other card that was laid, which is about mapping out your direction, mapping out your desire. Use your desires and map out your direction. You have this free time now, so really think about what is going to happen. We're not given many opportunities in life where we get to pause and think everything through, but this is one of those times. Stay safe, stay inside, and map out your life because this is what's needed in this moment. Use the time we have to do this. I think we're hoping that we can stay clear in our mind. This is the Princess of Swords, which is kind of like a step up to the King of Swords. It's also about discernment. I don't know if you noticed there's a falcon in this card, but also there is a falcon in this card. So it's about clear-sightedness, knowing what's happening, knowing what is to happen, not being confused. We're hoping that this can be the start of something new, because we have the Judgment card. So we see this as something new is happening with us, and we're hoping that we can begin something new and great out of it. Take a bad situation and turn it into something good. And also have the same Princess, but of Pentacles. So we're looking for our clear-sightedness with our money and our finances, and maybe something new is going to come in. Just like it was saying in this future, we're going to have to start over, and we're going to have to work on new things that we weren't really expecting. And it's mysterious, but you have to take control of that situation and move forward. The final outcome is our Ace of Wands, which is about new motivation, new drive. So, obviously with the coronavirus, this has been something completely random, and we don't know what exactly is going on. So we have to change up our desires and change up our things that we're working on. We have the Five of Pentacles, which it looks like a sad card, but if you notice in the forefront, there's a smile. So it's about leaving behind what we had, what we've built up, and moving on, and not totally moving on in a sad way, but looking forward, because we're not losing everything. We're just taking what we can with us. It's a movement. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Many foreigners are leaving China. They don't know if they're going to come back. There's really no idea. I don't even know when I can come back at this point. It's very up in the air. It's very mysterious. We don't know what's happening. So we just need to stay sharp in our minds. We need to look for our new desires and our new sources of income, our new things that can give us stability, because we could lay down and be sad in this moment, but if we do that, we're not going to have any kind of stability that we once had. We're not going to continue to have this stability with the Four of Pentacles. So we need to be on top of it, and things are going to be okay. We just need to stay clear in our minds. I'm going to lay one final card as a summary. The summary is a Chariot. We're going to go new places, so it may not be clear if we return to China. It may be a mass exodus. At this point, it's kind of looking like a lot of foreigners are going to be evacuated from China, which is unfortunate, but it is a safety protocol, So keep this all in mind. If we need to move forward from where we are, we can do it, and we have the abilities to do it. If we need to lose some things to move forward, remember that money is not as important as your health and safety, and your family cares more about you being safe and getting to some place where you are safe than they do about you having money. Your health is more important than that. So think, keep it stable, find a way to keep your assets in line, in check. Look for new things to do while you can that maybe will make you some money and keep your finances together. And just, pray, take a moment, take a breath. It's going to be okay. It's just one situation. We have to make changes like this all the time. In history, this happens all the time. So be strong, because you are strong and you can do it.